this juncture of the season, this relatively late juncture of the season, when it comes to the offense, how much do you think you're capable or might be able to correct or at least smooth out the inconsistencies that we've seen over the course of these 7, 8 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it comes down to execution, John, and those are things that are within our control every week, and that's where our focus really needs to be, and so that's what I expect going forward as well. And you know, as I said after the game, it was, and I still believe it's a lot of that execution is on us in terms of what we didn't do, and so that's what offensive football is execution. So remain confident in the coaches, confident in the players, and we go back to work.
I get it. Is there a concern that you haven't had consistency in execution from a team that pretty much came back together intact from last year?
Well, there's been moments of execution, right? And really what I'm focused on is this game this week and our level of execution. But you've seen a lot of good moments of execution. And that's what we have to do is get to a level of consistency in terms of execution.
Sean, do you have any update on Jon Feliciano? Is there a possibility that he could be ready to go for this weekend?
Yeah, he's still on IR, Heather, and he'll practice today, so he's still working through it. We're still working through it with John, and so we'll just see where it leads us at the end of the week here.
And then just, obviously towards the back end of the week here, just what have you seen from your team? What's the mood, mentality, emotion, things like that?
Yeah, I mean, when you come off of a game like that, close fought game and not the result we wanted to, there were a lot of good moments in that game, and we didn't get the result we wanted to. And so we have to, like I've said before, make sure we're working on those things this week to get them in the area we need to get them into so we can get the result we want. And that's really what we're focused on. That's what the players and coaches are focused on, and that's what we're going to do out here in practice in a few minutes.
Is this as complete an offense when you look at every phase, running back, receivers, you've got the quarterback, obviously. Is this maybe as complete an offense as you've seen this year?
Yeah, they're going to be a challenge. I mean, even for just the viewing fan, you watch them on TV, and it's the ball goes to Fournette, runner pass. The ball goes to this player, that player. The offensive line is really good, physical, big. So they're going to be a challenge for us, and it all goes through obviously Tom Brady, and we all know what he's done in his career.
So obviously Tom was involved in this back half of his career, maybe from the time period where you were here, if you want to go back to that, I know you saw him once in Carolina too, but at the end of his career, has he changed at all? Is he different?
Probably a better question for him, honestly. From a film and opposition point of view, I would say, I think he's playing as good a football as I've seen him play, and he's played, as we know, really good football. So credit to him, credit to how they're using him down there and where he is in his career, and we have a lot of respect for that.
Sean, when an opponent goes heavy personnel, 6 offensive linemen, what are the pros and cons of staying in your base this year, which has been Taryn, or going to a third linebacker?
Give me that again, Joe.
The pros and cons when they send out a 6th offensive lineman. What are the pros and cons of Taryn versus third linebacker?
Yeah, listen, we have not, just so for the record, we haven't stayed in nickel personnel against 6 offensive linemen. So we're going to do what we feel like is the best to defend those personnel groupings however they come out. So this past week, Joe, I would tell you that we were in three linebacker defense in many of those situations. So always going to put the players in a position to be successful, and that's how I see it. So.
I know he didn't have a lot of work last week, so they only threw 3 times. What did you see from the week of practice from Dane Jackson?
Yeah.
And then, of course, even coming out here this week as well?
Yeah, I thought he played well last week. He tackled well. Good to get him out there, and I thought he really did some good things, Sal, and expect the same this week as we move forward. And certainly the game will probably be played a little bit differently this week, and that'll be a challenge. But I expect the same.
I know. I'm sorry. I know you. I don't think you've been on the same staff with Coach Arians, but what have you had relationship with him in the past? You know him very well at all. I know he's been around the league quite.
Yeah, he's been around a while. A lot of respect for Bruce and what he's been able to do. We've faced each other a few times. Once in the NFC Championship game. Great coach, great ambassador for the league, and how he does things. Never worked with him, but a lot of respect for him.
How have you seen Isaiah respond to the reduced playing role and impact in the past few years?
I'm sorry?
How have you seen Isaiah McKenzie respond and handle the reduced role and being an active in the past few years?
Yeah, it's never easy not to play, right? These guys play their whole careers, right? They're used to playing. That's how they get to this league, and when you're not playing, that's a hard thing to handle. I think he's handled it, in a way that is allows for to help other guys and help them develop, and Speedy in this case, and I appreciate that, and I expect him to continue to do his part here.
How'd you feel Zach Moss responded to getting back in the lineup and getting back in the offense?
Yeah, I thought he made some real physical runs, Joe. One in particular that stood out to me. There wasn't a lot of carries in there, but I thought he played physically. And I think Zach's best football is in front of him. Yeah, let me give you the list here. Reggie will be limited with his ankle. Starr will not practice. He's got a toe. F.A. Obata will be limited, as well as, F.A. Obata will be limited with a hip, and then Tommy Sweeney will not practice with a hip.